Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham with Hannah Burr.
Hello.
How are you, Hannah?
I am well, and how are you?
Very good. Very good. It's warming up outside, so
Don't even.
it's
Don't.
getting
In Florida, it feels like the surface of the sun now. So don't even talk about warming up.
well, that's good. It's I'm coming down there next weekend, so I'm looking forward to getting out of this. It's been like raining nonstop here.
Oh, it rains here too. Like every single day in the afternoon, there's a thunderstorm. There just is.
Yeah.
Huh?
All right. Well, we got a big show today because we both have seen the new Star Wars film that is out there, The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we are going to talk about that on this episode. And I have no idea what Hannah's thoughts are on this thing.
And I don't know what Dave's thoughts are.
That's right.
I think this is the first time we did not share our initial thoughts to each other.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And we both pretty much we both saw on the same night, right?
Roughly, yeah.
So we'll talk about that. First up, of course, thanks to our patrons as always for the support and the contributions and all that stuff that you guys do for us. Comments from our patrons on here. Let's see. On our last episode, Thrawn comes out and says, I'm not surprised. People are saying that this Mando and Grogu movie is fun, but just like a long episode of the show. They were 100% going to do season 4 and were told to do a movie instead, or so wasn't expecting too much from it. As long as it's fun adventure with Mando and Grogu, looks great in IMAX, I can't complain. Brandon comes back and says, I'm seeing it this Sunday, the 5/24, which was obviously last week. As long wrap is nicely and it makes sense, then I'm good with it. And then Thrawn comes back and says, can't believe it's been 3 years since Ahsoka season 1. Doesn't feel that long ago until you mentioned it. I would assume it's taken so long because of the behind the scenes stuff and restructuring with Kennedy out and Filoni officially taking over. Maybe also took a while to get the green light because I know Iger wants to concentrate more on theatrical releases. Hopefully it's worth the wait, and I heard that they were doing more on location filming for season 2 rather than relying on the volume, which is promising, but can take longer. Thanks, Dave and Hannah. And then he said, rest in peace, Tom Kane, you will be missed. But
Indeed.
always remembered, so yes. Yeah, and I don't think we got, so those are our patron comments there. Of course, I haven't seen yet. Did I not post? Yeah, okay. Yeah. No one's posted on there yet about there. I'm probably waiting for this episode to give us their comments on the movie.
Yes.
A couple little bits of news. One, this is funny because this kind of made the rounds on social a little bit in a different way, but there was announced that there was going to be a Book of Boba Fett comic to come out. And of course they as in Marvel and Disney has been doing comic adaptations of all the series, right? Mandalorian, Ahsoka. They did Obi-Wan. I don't think they've done Andor yet, but now they're doing Book of Boba Fett. But a lot of people on social I saw commenting, thinking, and saying that this is an extension of the show. But it's not. It's just an adaptation. So, yeah. So a lot of people were I saw people going back and forth, like, why are you saying that it's expansion? It's not. It is truly just an adaptation of the episodes that we got on the show. So it's not extending the story. It's not more stories of Boba Fett, which I think would have been cool to get, but it's not that. So now sometimes these things have a little bit of extra stuff in it, but mostly it's pretty much right off the page, right off the screen, from the series. So not quite sure why they do that, but I guess because it's neat to do.
I was about to say it's very interesting they picked Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they've done, like I said, they've done Mando, they do Ahsoka, and they've done Obi-Wan. I think those are the only ones I've seen. And
right.
Boba Fett. So they haven't done Andor. What's the other live action show? Skeleton Crew? I know they haven't done that yet.
But why do it? Like, that's my main question. Because for me, the novelizations of the movies, I get those. Novelizations of the TV series, sure. If they happen, we get those. Because they help fill blanks. They help go, hey, this is actually what this character is thinking. Or this is the scene you didn't see. Or this is what's happening behind the scenes that you're not aware of as a viewer. And you and I have extensively about how we feel like that's kind of filling in plot holes. But when it comes to comics, and when it comes to shows that feels like, hey, there's not a lot hidden here, why are we doing a comic strip of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little, because right now there's a very huge lack of stories in the comics right now.
So maybe that's why. Maybe it's like, hey, let's keep this alive.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. And it's possible it may have been in the works for a long time, and because it has been a long time since that show came out.
True.
So anyway.
Once again, I'm for the brand. I don't speak for the brand. These are my opinions and my own. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, some of it I don't either. I like the adaptations of the films.
Yeah.
And it took a while for the Rise of Skywalker to finally come out. That was the last one, but it did finally come out. But all the shows, it's interesting.
And while I hate the comics and I love the comics, I do prefer the novelization versus comics.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, so that will be out here shortly. The other thing I wanted to bring up, which is interesting, is Simon Kingberg, who most of you guys know. We've kind of talked about this a little bit. He has been commissioned to write some Star Wars films, and it was told that he's actually approaching writing a trilogy.
Yeah.
And apparently that's still in the works. But now there's stories coming out, and they're pretty credible. They're not just, influencers or clickbait people out there. They're actually coming from the, Hollywood reporters and things like that. That he's actually possibly writing episodes 10, 11, and 12. I knew I'd get a reaction out of you. I didn't know I'd get that reaction. So what tell me what you're thinking right now.
Sorry, I threw my glasses. I got to put them back on cuz I can't see you. Once again, I want to reiterate. I work for the brand. I do not speak for the brand. These are my opinions and mine alone. Why? We don't need a 10, 11, 12. I'm sorry. Skywalker was done. I think it's an argument to say that Skywalker was done at The Last Jedi. I could even forgive Skywalker being done at The Rise of Skywalker. story? Is Palpatine gonna come back to life again? Is Kylo Ren gonna come back to life again? Like, what? We even have a Rey movie happening. Why is there a 10, 11, 12? Okay, I'm done. Sorry. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That wasn't too dramatic, was it?
That is some fire. I haven't seen you at that with that much fire before.
I even spittled. I'm sorry. Like, as I said, these are my opinions, not the brand of which I work for. Like, that made me so angry. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't know. She's still screaming.
Sorry.
I don't
compose myself. I can be an adult. I can.
No, that's all right. That's all right. That's passion. What's that?
How do you feel? Sorry, I'm spittling still. Yep. Now, sorry.
I'm telling you right now, I'm actually struggling how I feel about this. Okay. I really am, because half of me is thinking very similar to you, where it's like, I don't get it. I thought the Skywalker saga was over. We actually were told, now been told twice that after the prequels came out, it's like, this is the complete Skywalker saga. I have the Blu-ray bundle of the 6 movies that say the complete Skywalker saga, right? And then they did 7, 8, 9, which I think everybody was excited, not necessarily because it was with new characters. I think they were excited because, we're going to get Han, Luke, and Leia back.
Right.
Of course, we all know how that ended up happening, but the other half of me is thinking, well, two parts of that. What I mean by that, the other half is, the first half, like I said, is like, I thought it was over, and I don't know why we even did 7, 8, 9 now, based on what we got. But now the other half of me is kind of like this. Could you have episodic movies, but not now related to the Skywalker side, to the Skywalkers?
Oh, that's an interesting debate question.
Right? Because technically all you're doing is you've created kind of a linear timeline now.
Oh man, that's such a hard question, because the sequels introduced somebody else who we didn't realize was a Skywalker until the end. Because it technically didn't feature a Skywalker. Oh, no, because we always called it the Skywalker saga. All 9 episodes were the Skywalker saga. That's what we always called them. But now, based on your argument, we never thought that Star Wars Episode 7 had a Skywalker in it as a protagonist. And we didn't realize that until the end. So then you could theoretically argue, oh, we've now completed the Skywalker saga. Oh, man. Hey, listeners and viewers, let us know what you think. Does this mean it's the end of the Skywalker saga? Not, and should 10, 11, 12 be the Skywalker saga still? I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so how would you feel if you knew that let's just say Rey's not in this. Let's say this is nothing to do with the Skywalkers.
No. The only way that I will personally accept this is that if Luke had a secret child, and they're the stars of 10, 11, 12.
Well, we know that's probably, we probably know that's not going to happen.
Mara is still a possibility, Dave. Mara could still exist, and we just don't know it. And who knows? Little Jedi have to pop up at some way, or via some way or another.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little Skywalker out there we don't know about.
I mean, here's the thing. I think, yeah, it would have been nice to say, it would have been nice to have all episodes continue on with the Skywalker lineage.
I feel like they have to, though. What's their butt?
Well, but they made the mistake of not having a continued lineage. Like, they didn't give Han and Leia the Skywalker twins.
Right, but arguably, because now it's canon that Rey calls herself Rey Skywalker.
But she's not
I know she's
not blood, right? I mean, the blood lineage, I think, would have been more important.
If we're going to go with what the script says, and she calls herself a Skywalker, therefore 7, 8, and 9 is still technically a continuation of the Skywalker saga.
Yes, it is. I think it is.
Do I like that? No. I thought it was absolutely, once again, this is my opinion, mine alone. I don't speak for the brand. I thought it was dumb. The whole thing with her claiming to be a Skywalker, saying that's my last name. I thought that was dumb. But because they did that, now you can argue that 7, 8, and 9 are a continuation of the Skywalker saga. So my question is, if you're going to say that 10, 11, 12 are going to be part of this saga, how are you going to continue the Skywalker name? Because it's very clear that Skywalker, the family of Skywalker, is key.
Well, you have to have Rey in it then.
Exactly. So then is the film that Rey was going to do going to kind of morph into this?
It might.
Separate? And if it's separate, then what are you doing with this?
Or that movie may not even happen now, because that was written by somebody else, and that movie's kind of been pushed and pushed and pushed. So that might even be, canceled, and then they move Rey into this new trilogy.
It's just so messy. Like, why? That's my question. Why?
Well, I think a couple reasons. I think one reason is they want to try to expand on 7, 8, 9 and try to continue it to make them better in a sense, maybe.
Call it trilogy.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I understand where you're coming from, but dude, come on.
You said call it a new trilogy?
Call it a new trilogy.
Yeah. Well, again, this is just rumor. This hasn't been.
I know. Okay, true. I'm getting all fired up on rumors.
Yeah, it may not even happen like this, but if it does,
I'm sorry.
If it does, I think a lot of people are going to share that passion. Is that, why 7 and 9 weren't. I think a lot of people are going to say 7 and 9 weren't that good. Why continue that? And I mean, the problem is that here's the other thing I think you could have done is, and again, maybe hindsight, they didn't know they were going to do a 10, 11, 12, but 7, 8, 9 could have been, more of instead of a continuation of, episode 6, you kind of have a new start completely, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you could have had this be the next saga, the next 6 films be its own saga. Like, that was the Skywalker saga, and then now you have your own next saga. But it could still be Skywalkers, but it was just like bringing Palpatine back, you connected, right? The first 6 films to the next 3. Whereas if it wasn't Palpatine, and maybe because I thought Snoke was a almost like a better idea because we had not seen Snoke before. So it's like, if you could have done that, but again, I think it goes back to what you've always talked about too, is if you had the twins, you could have expanded you could have done so many more stories with just them.
Like, all you had to do was look at and there is a story right there given to you on a silver platter.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, honestly, I've talked with people who have seen the sequels and have said, this is what the non-canon books are and what they're about. And I kid you not, every single one of them said that would have been a better story. That I would have watched. Because then you're dealing more with the moral war and the internal, especially with Jaina. Like, God, the fact that she had to deal with the fact, because they called it a dyad. Like, I feel like they stole that from them, which is fine. Feel it. It's Star Wars property, so do it. But the whole dyad thing between Jaina and Jason, the fact that she felt her twin brother go to the dark side, and she constantly felt his pain and felt what he was dealing with, and then had to face the fact that she had to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. That is a perfect juxtaposition between Leia and Luke.
Yeah.
It really is, because Luke could have easily done the same thing. And then in the novels, we hear that Leia is even struggling with the dark side of the Force before that she's Force sensitive.
I do wish they would have, because they kind of could have probably easily done this. Is they could have easily made. I feel like they could have made Rey, maybe not twin, but Kylo's sister.
So there was a whole theory about that. There was a whole theory that the reason why she called herself Rey was because the helmet she put on, the language on the side of it was Rey. And there's a whole theory that Kylo Ren is so good with manipulating memories. So when the old Jedi temple was destroyed, he couldn't kill his sister. So he erased her memory. And in the process, erased memories of his dad. So because it's clear that Kylo Ren has power over the memory, power over the brain, and torture. So he would have clearly have been able to do that. So that's why Leia wouldn't have recognized her daughter. And that's why Rey and Kylo had such a close connection. I never, ever suspected that it was romance until they kissed. And I'm like, what? This is romance? They're not brother and sister? Like, I thought the entire time they were brother and sister. The entire time until they kissed, and until Rey was like, "Oh, I'm a Palpatine," then I'm like, "Oh, dang it!" So yeah,
that would have been really. I think that would have in the end been really good to again establish the twins. Even if Kylo died, at least Rey is a true Skywalker.
She is, even though her mother's maiden name.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think 10, 11, 12 is would, I think on the surface it would be a tough sell to Star Wars fans right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know how excited people would. I mean, the excitement for 7 was off the chart.
Well, of course, that was the first Star Wars movie in how long? Like,
I mean, it wasn't as long as the other gap, but 2015 to 20, it was about 10 years.
So I do have to ask this. Something I saw on social media was an argument that Snoke was actually Tarkin.
No. Yeah, no.
Because there was a similar scar, similar jawline, cheekbones.
Nah, he's just a failed clone.
I I I just wanted to verbalize it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know. In the end, it's like, in the end, can they could they somehow make episodic films for Star Wars and not be tied to the Skywalkers? I think that's the ultimate question you have to figure out. Because think about it. I think
Yeah.
it'd be good. I think part of me thinks it would be a good thing to have episode movies throughout time now, as
But we
generations go
had
by.
we said a Star Wars story, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Solo. Like we've done that. So do you call it something else besides Star Wars? Or do you, because I know the crawl is so, and it's so iconic.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like I think each generation, if they had their own episodes, and again, I don't know if you have to tie them together by the Skywalkers, but you would, if you were able to, let's just say, let's just say they did 10, 11, 12. Let's just say they did 13, 14, and 15. It's like now you have, if all you watched were the episodic movies of Star Wars, you could still, enjoy the timeline of Star Wars and not have to like go and watch all these other things if you didn't really want to. And generation after generation, you would kind of maybe have your own trilogy of movies that you grew up with. Like that part, I think is really good.
I appreciate that. But I guess the question is then what defines something to be Star Wars versus a Star Wars story?
Well, it would probably be. I mean, you can just tie it to the story of the Jedi now, still, or it's Jedi and Sith always. It
Then
doesn't
why
have to be.
Star Wars a Clone Wars story? Why isn't it Darth Maul a Star Wars story?
Well, those aren't films. They've only said that to films.
But the point is this: like we have a Star Wars story, we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I think you and I, even though I'm not a big fan of Rogue One, still, you and I can both argue Rogue One should be a part of the Star Wars saga.
Yeah, it could have been, but obviously it fell into the different timeline.
Yeah, but we could argue that. So I think the question is we have to define what is a Star Wars movie, not a Star Wars story, not a Star Wars story.
Well, obviously they came out with, the Star Wars stories were supposed to be films that weren't part of the Skywalker saga.
Right. So yeah, Skywalker. That's the point. Skywalker. So what makes 10, 11, 12 fit into? If it's not Skywalker, then we need to redefine what a Star Wars movie is.
Yeah, again, I think it's, if you have Rey in it, you obviously solve that problem and you continue the Skywalker saga.
Right.
But if you don't have Rey in it, you have some other kind of through line from the previous, which is either Jedi or it's probably Sith or it's the remnants of the First Order, or it's like
a Palpatine clone or a Skywalker clone.
Yeah, I mean, you could have something that continues, like so at the end of 9, the New Republic is rebuilding. I mean, that's the thing too, is at the end of 9, like there's no government, like there's no, like the Chancellor, all the senators were killed, like they're completely rebuilding. There's no Jedi. Apparently, all the Sith are fully gone now, but probably not ever.
Not ever.
But you have like this whole unity of everybody around the galaxy that rose up and fought against the First Order. Depending on how far you go in time, say you jump 5 years, 10 years, whatever, Rey, where do we find Rey? Where do we find the Republic now? But you could, the idea would be you can finish watching 9 and then watch 10, and you're a little bit down the timeline, and then there's more story that happens after that. Now, so it is, you would have to somehow continue the story, but it wouldn't have to, it's not some separate one-off like you have with Solo or Rogue One, or now with the Mandalorian and Grogu, because they didn't call that one a Star Wars story. It was just Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yep.
Because they got off of that where they feel like it didn't work out with how Solo went. So, like obviously Starfighter's coming out. That's not a Star Wars story. It just says Star Wars Starfighter. So they dropped that whole series. They don't want to do that anymore. But I get what you're saying. I'm just saying like, if you had episodic movies, you would have to produce them in a way that if you only watch those episodic movies, you would understand the galaxy, you would understand how everything works, and you understand that the characters that you're seeing in there, that's the story that it's focused on, not anything else. And you could, like, I think depending on how it goes, but if you made 10, 11, 12, let's just say they jumped 30 years again, and Rey's not even around, she passed away or something like that, and then you have a whole new Jedi Order, you have a whole new Republic, and you're now focused on new characters. Like, is that off limits, or is that a new generation's trilogy now to enjoy and watch? I don't know. I think I'd be, part of me is like okay with that. Part of me is have to think about it.
Part of me is, but the ultimate question is this: what is Star Wars about? If you're going to tell me it's about the Skywalker saga, then that's what it is. If you're going to tell me no, it's about whatever else it is, then okay. Sure, let's go for it. But I think the thing is, what we've always been told and what we've always believed is that it's the Skywalker saga. So if it's not that, then tell us what it is. If it's the Palpatine saga, because there's another clone of himself that survived and come up in 10, 11, 12, then let that be it.
Well, I know. I think I know where you're going at, and I do tend to agree with you in that. I think what they have to do is they would have to start basically eliminating the term Skywalker saga.
Exactly. That's my point. You have to define it. You have to come, and if it's a new definition, that's okay.
Yeah. So you would basically say the first 3 movies are about the fall of Darth Vader.
Yes.
Just
let us know what it is about. What is the Star Wars series, not the Star Wars stories, not the TV shows, not the other movies. What is the Star Wars series about? And if that definition changes, sure, that's fine. Just let us know. So then we can set our expectations accordingly.
Yeah, I think ultimately you can, if I were, like, I'm starting to think, like, if I were Filoni now, and if I thought continuing the episodic numbers was a good idea, and solely because, to be honest, you said it earlier, I missed the crawl. I missed that boom, at the beginning, like sitting in a theater. I wish I would see that. I'm dying to go, see that again.
The vapor. Give me the vapors.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I was him and I was thinking that's something I want each generation to experience, then I would come out and say, okay, each trilogy, it's its own story.
Yes.
Like the first trilogy was about the fall of Darth Vader and the fall of the Republic. The second story is the rebellion story and how Luke, Leia, and Han restored the galaxy. And then the next trilogy could be, you know, the rise, the return of the Sith, and how, you know, the resistance had to fight back. It's like you just don't refer to it as the Skywalker saga anymore.
Exactly.
You know?
I think they were trying to do that when they laid out the timeline. But here's the thing, that wasn't crystal clear. Like, and sure, are some people going to be upset? Say, hey, this isn't what the Star Wars series is about? Then yes, people are going to be upset. But at least if you set those expectations, then we're going to be okay. You have to at least say, hey, this is what it's about. Because as far as we know, it's about the Skywalker saga. So as soon as you say 10, 11, 12, I immediately jump to, okay, what secret child did Luke have that he didn't know about? Like, that was the immediate conclusion I jumped to. But if you say, hey, no, each trilogy is its own story, and this is what it's about, then we have a different discussion.
Well, I will tell you that I feel like Star Wars has started doing that. Because do you remember, like, I think about a year or two ago, and they did this on the website too, they introduced several eras of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I meant by the timeline.
Yes, yes.
So they started doing that, but what I mean is not crystal clear with regards to the Skywalker, because they still define whatever's out there, Skywalker saga. That's still what it's defined as.
Yes, I guess technically yes, but
technically,
at least in the eras that they define here, you know, the movies along with other material, like it falls under one of these eras. So you could again go back and say, okay, like the prequels, they fall under the fall of the Jedi era.
But then you need to be crystal clear about that, because currently, as we sit as an audience, 1 through 9, that's the Skywalker saga.
Well, again, I know that they said that. Yes, could they be getting away from that? They could be, because again, on the website right now, at least with the timeline here, there's nothing that mentions the Skywalkers. Right? It's just no. Like the fall of the Jedi era, that the first 3 episodes 1, 2, and 3 fall. It just says a long forgotten menace returns as the Sith Lord orchestrates a devastating conflict, plunging the galaxy into a full-scale war with the Jedi Knights at the front lines.
Didn't realize you were talking about the timeline. Yeah, of course the timeline doesn't recognize the Skywalkers.
Yeah, but I mean, it lists the movies, you know, the episodes. I'm just saying, like, I don't know where. I don't see anywhere on here it talks about the Skywalker saga, at least in the timeline. So
right.
Now I remember I was gonna see. Yeah, so on Disney Plus they still have the Skywalker saga.
Thank you. So then don't call it that, or say, hey, we're no longer calling it this. Refer to the timeline.
Well, they could easily do that, because again, before 7, 8, 9 came out, they touted the first 6 movies as the complete saga.
Yes.
It's not the complete saga, obviously.
No, it's not, apparently.
So they can't change. The point is they can't change that. They can. And I think, and if they come out with 10, 11, 12, I do think they will. I think they will start going, because and another big change they've slowly done is, people may not realize this, but I do, because I pay attention to this kind of stuff. But for the longest time, like, the title of the episodic movies were Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, right? Yeah. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But now, when you look at everything now, the way they label it, it's now Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
No.
And then in parentheses at the end, it says Episode 2.
No.
Oh, yeah. So they've kind of moved.
My phone, so I can't check it, but oh my, no.
Yeah.
What?
Like when you go to the films, when you see all the listed of the films, the posters and all that stuff, it says Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and in parentheses, Episode 8. So they are moving the episode, at the end now instead of kind of at the beginning. So again, that's a subtle change that I've noticed, that I know that they've done, because before I know they always touted Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, but now
And that it's Star Wars Episode whatever the name.
I know it's not. They don't word it like that anymore.
Oh my gosh.
So again, that's what I'm saying. So they're slowly kind of making it more about the film being the name of the film versus an episodic film. So,
no offense to our listeners, to you, or our viewers. People tend to be stupid. That's not enough to let them know, hey, this isn't necessarily tied to the Skywalker saga. Am I okay with saying that, or am I going to get canceled for that?
About say that again.
I said no offense to our listeners because they're all intelligent, nor our viewers who are all intelligent, nor you who is intelligent. The average person is stupid.
Yes.
If they don't even comprehend that, or if they don't, like, with 10, 11, 12, they don't understand that it's not beyond the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
Like, there kind of needs to be a 2x4. Like, I understand the subtlety of moving in that direction. But there needs to be a 2x4. There needs to be a very clear message. Like, hey, this is no longer the case, y'all.
Yeah, I think because of that change. Do what?
Am I okay to say that, or will I get canceled?
You won't get canceled. No, you're fine. No, but when I noticed that, I was very much thinking that, like they're eventually going to drop the episode numbers. I don't think they will, but like if you look at the posters of all the films, like episodes 1, 2, and 3, because it's in the logo, it's the only ones that actually say episode 1, 2, and 3, right? Like Force Awakens, Last Jedi, none of them say on the posters 7, 8, 9. So anyway, it's an interesting debate. It really is an interesting debate.
Hey, listen, viewers and Patreons, all of the above. Let us know what you think. Because clearly, this is a hot and heavy debate that we've talked about for about a solid 30 minutes.
I know. I didn't think we would take that long to talk about that, but
exactly.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting because as soon as I read that, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, and I think I need somebody else's opinion like yours to kind of spark my thoughts. But it's
while I throw my glasses off my face.
Yeah, you came at it pretty strong, and that's and I a part of me is like that. Half of me was like that. Half of me is still almost like wishing and hoping that it can expand, but but it has to expand, like you said, it has to expand the right way. It can't just be
like, and that's my thing. If you redefine what Star Wars means, then I think we have a different story here.
I'm talking about just the episodic movies.
Exactly. Like, that's like, okay, what secret child is out there?
Yeah. Again,
What?
I don't know if you have to have it as Skywalkers. I don't think you have to have it as Skywalkers.
Well, no. You could have Ben Skywalker out there. You could have the Ben Skywalker from the books. He's
Yeah.
very powerful as a baby. He had chairs throwing across the room.
But are you saying then if it's not a Skywalker, you shouldn't do it?
I'm saying you have to define what the Star Wars series is. Like, clearly define it. Because currently it's the Skywalker saga.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like if they do define it and it's not Skywalkers anymore,
Then that's fine. Then
okay.
Reset my expectations, my bro.
Yeah.
My fellow coworker who also works for the Mouse, just tell me what my expectations should be.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Because if you tell me, hey, it's no longer this, I'm like, okay, great. Then I'm excited for it. Okay, my mind is open. Give me what you want. But if you don't tell me that, then I'm still thinking, oh, it's Skywalker. There's a secret child out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it right now. Episode 503 of Inside the Force on May 30th of 2026. I'm going to say that if they do 10, 11, 12 and continue the episodic Star Wars, then they need to rebrand each trilogy as its own like storyline and not tout it as a complete Skywalker saga.
A freaking men, unless there's an unknown secret Skywalker child we don't know of.
Okay.
Or,
yes, I agree. Okay, if there's not, is Rey enough to continue the Skywalker saga? Because I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, even though she technically called herself a Skywalker. So
She called herself a Skywalker, but that's fine. But
the only other exception in my mind is that there's an unknown clone of Palpatine that's suddenly in 10, 11, 12. Because that's the only other through line. The only other Palpatine. It's Skywalker and Palpatine. So
what if we find out that what if oh man, I don't know if you can do that. I was gonna say what if during Leia and Han's separation, Leia had another child?
I mean, that, as I said, that's a secret Skywalker child.
Yeah. What if she had Jason, or it wouldn't be a Solo, but yeah, I don't know.
As I said, that's a secret Skywalker child.
Yes. Okay, I can buy that maybe. All right. Okay. I feel like we're going to be talking more about that. We got to get to we did spend a lot of time on that. I want to talk.
I think we spent too much time.
Yeah. So that means we can kind of talk a little bit about Mando, and I'm sure there'll be, we'll need to talk about Mando and Grogu more anyway, because there's no more Star Wars coming this year. So who knows what we're going to be talking about.
So maybe is this a teaser? Is this a teaser?
Well, we're going to talk about like the surface, initial reactions and stuff like that. So
dive deeper.
Yes.
Okay.
So Hannah.
Yes.
You, which was it was great for you because you were on a ship when.
So apparently, on Disney Cruise Line, every now and again, and it's a magical moment, they'll do a premiere on the ship.
Oh, okay.
It's not a common occurrence. It'll happen every now and again.
So they don't do that every time.
Mm-mm. And they happen to be able to do it for Mandalorian and Grogu. And you better believe I got in line at 8 p.m. to make sure I had a spot.
So was it only one showing?
No, there were three different theaters that had the showings, but I wanted to make sure I actually got into the theater because
Yes.
everybody on the ship was like, "Oh, did you hear they were going to do Mando and Grogu? They were Mando and Grogu." And I have to see this movie. I have to. This is my chance. So I saw it. I saw it on
Okay.
the day.
So what did you think?
I loved it. Is it the best Star Wars movie? No. I will say that. But I loved it. I thought it was so cute. I thought that there were comedic parts. I cried. I laughed. I thought the acting was spectacular. And I can understand why some people, and once again, I know we said we'll go into detail next episode. I can understand why some people feel like it was a bunch of episodes kind of combined into one movie. But I think that's the brilliance of it. Because if you think about it, especially with the original trilogy, it's three long episodes telling one story. You just have it more condensed with this movie. And that's what I thought that was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I think this was Filoni and Favreau saying, "Hey, Star Wars, here's a tip of the hat to you." I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Is it my favorite Star Wars movie? No, but it's definitely up there. And seeing it on a ship with a bunch of other people, like, come on. It can't get better than that. Especially because in our last episode we recorded, I said, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it. I don't know when it's going to happen. And I remember texting you going, "Hey, guess what?"
Mm-hmm.
What did you
I
think?
know. That I will say right off the bat, uh, I figured you'd like it. I didn't think you'd love it.
I love
So yeah, that's very interesting. Maybe I don't know Hannah as well as I thought I did. No.
What did you think of?
What do you think? What do you think my reaction is gonna like? I'm curious if you think.
Oh,
What do you think I'm about
I
to
should
say?
have do that first. What did you think I thought of it? I think you I think you really, 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 really liked it. I think you enjoyed the adventure. I can think of one point where you thought it was slow, and that was mostly the Grogu centered point, if you know what I'm referring to. But and I think you also believe that the Hutts were a very brave choice with regards to this movie. But I think you also found some relief in it, and this is the other thing that I like about it, which I'll feed into what you thought. It was a breath of fresh air because for once we had a Star Wars movie where the galaxy wasn't at stake. For once we had a Star Wars movie where the stakes were not as high. So we actually could breathe a sigh of relief and just enjoy the ride.
That's not bad, Hannah. That's not bad. Um, you pretty much got all of it. I think the only thing you missed
Oh no.
was I did really enjoy it. I think it was a very fun film. I think it's a very fun family film to take your kids to get them into Star Wars. I just overall, I guess kind of like what you said. It definitely wasn't. It's definitely not one of my favorites, though.
Right. Of course.
You know, you definitely hit the nail on the head. Which I think that the Grogu scene was way too long.
Yes. And I felt that too, but I also felt like because it was as it felt like a series of episodes kind of smushed together, I still felt like it was a tip of the hat to the trilogy.
Yeah, yeah,
So I kind of accepted that.
yeah. And I think, yeah, I think it was. I just think, I don't know. I definitely need to watch it again, which I'm hoping when I get on my ship this weekend that maybe it's on there still. I'll probably go watch it in the theater. But because I think I felt I felt like the pacing was off a little bit.
Yes. And that's why I feel like the whole idea that it's a series of episodes smushed together makes
Yeah,
sense.
maybe.
Pacing is off.
There was definitely I will say it was definitely more Rada the Hutt than I thought there would be.
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing is actually about Rada the Hutt. And which in the end, kind of like what you said, like I thought that was a bold choice. And I have seen interviews that said that they would not have been able to do this much if they were on a TV budget.
Yeah.
But having a film budget, they were able to obviously do as much with the Hutts as they could because, to do them right, I mean, they have to be CG'd. You can't puppeteer those anymore.
No.
So I thought, that was a cool thing for Filoni to do because, Filoni kind of started his journey with Rada the Hutt. If everybody remembers the first Clone Wars film before it kicked off the series was about the baby Rada the Hutt, which he actually looked exactly like that, which I thought was pretty neat.
A little scary.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, Filoni kind of tipping the hat with Rada the Hutt and also, bringing back that bounty hunter. His name escapes me. He's from the Clone Wars also. So it's like he was connecting, back to his roots a little bit. But either way, look, I enjoy the Hutts. Jabba, that's why one of the reasons I love Return of the Jedi, because I love the whole Jabba sequence. Growing up, I was thinking like, God, Jabba, I mean, he looks like a crime boss and he'd be terrifying to work with or work for.
Yeah.
So I thought it's cool to have stories about the Hutts, and Rada being his son is pretty interesting.
Yes.
So look, I think in the end, like, did we have to make this into a film? I don't know. I still think that after, what's it been, 7 years almost, 6.5 years since the last.
Nearly 7 years.
Yeah, I would think you would have come back to the theaters with something a little stronger.
Oh, completely agree. Completely agree.
Yeah. But I get it. I don't think this was supposed to be the first film back.
No.
You had a lot of films in development that apparently were supposed to, Rogue Squadron was one, Rian Johnson's movies possibly. It's like you had other options that you thought you were going to do. This is the only one, I guess is the first one that got done. So, look, I think you pretty much hit it. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fun adventure. It definitely felt like Star Wars.
Yes.
My daughter enjoyed it a lot, and Grogu was Grogu. I mean, I think you could already see him growing up a little bit, and I think there were really, really good moments in this, but overall it was good, not great.
Yeah, I agree. And I do agree, like, okay, this is the first movie after 7 years, But at the same time, like, because I was tired, we had a long day of filming. And I just was like, oh, okay, I need to see this movie. I really hope I don't have to think. I didn't have to think. You know, sometimes you just need a movie where you don't really necessarily need to put a lot of brain power into it, and you can just sit back and enjoy it. And that was
Absolutely.
the movie.
Yeah, that was definitely this movie for sure.
And there's nothing.
No, no. And you know, Filoni or not Filoni, Favreau even mentioned how they were trying to make this movie so that you didn't have to see the series necessarily to kind of
And I felt that.
yeah.
I was,
I think that was accomplished.
I was sitting next to this family who never saw the Mandalorian series. And I was really. I was like, oh no. But then they saw it and they're like, oh, that was great. And I'm like, oh, you just say, okay. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, awesome. You did a great job, movie. You don't have to see the series to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did a good job accomplishing that. I mean, it definitely helps you if you had seen them.
Oh, absolutely. Give some context, but it's not necessarily context you need.
No, you don't need to know about Boba Fett, about Luke, and about Ahsoka, and all these. You know,
But all of us freaked out whenever Zeb came on screen.
yes,
Next to us, they were like, why is everyone clapping? And I'm like, it's.
yeah. Again, a good Filoni tie back to characters he's helped create. So,
Oh, yeah, everybody freaked out when Filoni came on screen.
oh yeah, yeah,
They were like, woo! And the people next to me are freaking out. I'm like, that's Filoni.
yeah, yeah. And if everybody doesn't know, he is one of the starfighters that was in the Mando series, so he's definitely part of the.
Spoilers.
Yeah, he's definitely in there. So, yeah, I think I think that was. I think we both kind of had the same reaction to it. I think you might enjoy liked it a little bit more than me, but I think in the end we both agree it's definitely a fun Star Wars story. Very well done as far as very well done as far as like you said, acting and directing, and
Oh, absolutely.
I mean again, it felt like a Star Wars film.
Yes.
So yeah, I do think yeah. I mean, if you just chalk it up to being this side adventure that Mando and Grogu have, I mean it was. I mean I tell you what though, the opening sequence was incredible. I felt like.
Oh my gosh. Incredible.
Like if that was the first time you had seen them,
You'd be
then
like, God, they're unstoppable.
yes. And I think it would make you want to go watch the series.
Yeah, I'd be like, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm. Totally
Especially
think so.
Grogu was doing the Force. It's like, what did I miss?
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's a good initial reaction. I think the next episode we'll dive into a little bit more about it. I think at that point maybe I'll see it again by then. I don't know, but we'll see. But
See it again, but also this gives a chance to our viewers and listeners. If you haven't seen it now, we were very gracious this episode. Very little spoilers.
Yep.
We normally don't do that.
Yeah, good point. Also, Hannah, so you have time to think about it. Once we kind of deep dive next episode, we'll also let's do a little, ranking system of the films now that with this one.
Why you do this to me?
we always got to rank it.
Why you do this to me?
We always got to rank it. So now we have now we have we have 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we have 13 Star Wars films. Okay, we're going to count the Clone Wars one.
Okay. Including the Clone Wars one?
Including the Clone Wars one.
So that means I have to still see the Clone Wars movie between now and the next time we record.
You haven't seen the Clone Wars movie?
I haven't had time.
Wait a minute. The original Clone Wars movie.
I still haven't seen it.
The one that's about Rod the Hutt? You haven't seen that one?
I haven't.
Oh my god. Wait. Didn't we do we didn't do the commentary on that yet.
No, we didn't. We skipped it.
That's right. We did skip it. Okay. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So okay, well, you might not be able. So maybe okay. So then we'll just rank the live action ones. How about that?
No. I will watch it between now and the next time we record. I'm sorry, I'm such a disappointment. I will watch.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I need to probably rewatch it. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Okay, I feel a little better.
All right. That was a fun episode. I think that was, again, we dove into the 10, 11, 12 talk a little more than I anticipated, but that was really good. And I think that's something we'll definitely talk about more as the rumors keep swirling around that. And as long as Simon Kingberg is still out there making, writing Star Wars films, it's a possibility that this might be what it turns into, but we'll see. Go see the Mando and Grogu if you haven't yet. If you have, let us know what you think. We'll share it on the next episode, and we're going to really deep dive into big spoilery talk about it next time.
Yes.
So, and then, of course, go check out the Mandalorian podcast. We've been slowly, doing the Maul episodes one at a time, so we're almost wrapped on that. I think we're doing episode 7 next.
And you all do such a deep dive into those. Like, if you haven't had a chance to listen to them, please do. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's all Martin with his note taking. He does a lot of notes on it.
I remember the first I did one of the Mandalorian podcasts with him. He's like, "Here you go," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, a lot of notes.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. And I mean that in the nicest way, but I appreciate that. I appreciate, especially because that's what the Mandalorian podcast is all about. It's about going into the nitty-gritty of every single episode.
A lot.
And so I appreciate him asking all those tough questions. Meanwhile, episode is, hey, let's just, shoot the breeze. What do you think about this? And then I'm going to cling on to this one thing you said, and I'm going to debate you about this.
Yeah. All right. It's almost summer, and I hope everybody gets a chance to go out there and enjoy their time. And Hannah, thanks for coming on, as always.
Thank you, Dave, as always.
Take care, everyone. Go out there and watch some Mando and Grogu. I know it didn't, I don't know how well, it sounds like it didn't do that well the second weekend, like most movies don't anyway, but it should be out there still for a few more weeks. And, I think it's gonna, have its core audience. Hopefully it picked up some new fans. But I started going back and watching the series again, and it actually is really good.
Yeah, the Clone Wars.
What's that? No, I'm talking about the Mandalorian.
Oh, Mandalorian is season 1 is also.
It is. I'm almost done with season 1 again, and it is actually really, really good. I think season 2 is better, but.
Oh, those are fighting words, man.
I mean, you got Bo-Katan, you got Luke, you got Ahsoka. I mean, it's hard.
Fighting words.
It's hard to say that one's not better, but okay. All right, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you all next time. Go and have a great weekend and week, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Hannah.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.